After the age of 65, you should never give up these 6 things for anybody else in order to safeguard your health, peace, and freedom. Having made a significant sacrifice for the sake of peace with another person. Have you ever come to regret your decision? It is common for us to grow more generous with our time, our energy, and even our financial resources as we are getting older, in particular when it comes to our family, our friends, or other people who are important to us. But the truth is that after the age of 65, there are several things that you should never give up for the sake of another person. And clinging to them is not an act of selfishness, rather, it is an act of survival. In this video, we will discuss 6 things that you should preserve with all your might, regardless of who poses the question or how softly they ask it. In order to safeguard your health, your dignity, and your overall well-being, certain boundaries are in place. And if you've ever felt guilty about declining an offer or questioned whether or not your requirements are still important, the answer is yes, indeed. They are more important than they have ever been. Be sure to stay tuned until the very end, because the final issue that we will discuss is not only significant, but it has the potential to fundamentally alter the way that you perceive your relationships and the obligations that you have. It's possible that this is the reason you now feel comfortable expressing that you don't agree with what you're saying. The concept of turning one's back on other people is not here. It is about turning the same love toward oneself as you would toward others. Your entire life has been spent providing for the needs of other people. It's time to get started. First, your health and your physical well-being. It takes a certain amount of quiet bravery to prioritize your own health, particularly when you have spent your whole life putting the needs of others ahead of your own. At the age of 65, your body transforms into your most trustworthy buddy. It provides you with information regarding when it is tired, when it requires movement, when it is in need of rest, and when something is simply not right. On the other hand, an excessive number of elderly people ignore those signs in the name of assisting another person, accommodating demands, or simply avoiding appearing to be preoccupied with their own interests. What is true, however, is that if your health deteriorates, everything else in your environment will also deteriorate. On a bi-weekly basis, Harold, who is now 78 years old, would see his great-grandchildren. It was a source of happiness for him, but it also left him spent. Because he did not want to let his daughter down, he agreed to the request, despite the fact that his back was hurting, that he was having trouble sleeping, and that his energy was beginning to gradually decrease. It eventually caught up to him in the form of a minor fall. And that was the moment that he realized he needed to pay attention. He came to the realization that being kind did not imply shutting himself off. Therefore, he is now able to assist, but only when he is powerful, well-rested, and capable. And what is the most lovely part? The members of his family continue to adore him. And they comprehend, for the simple reason that others who care about you will pay attention to you when you convey your limits in an honest manner. Wearing oneself down is not a noble thing to do under any circumstances. In point of fact, there is something far more powerful about expressing, "I want to be there for you, but I also need to be there for myself." This is a way to demonstrate your love, or you can demonstrate your commitment. Your medical appointments are very important. Your peaceful mornings are important. The decision that you made to walk rather than drive or nap, rather than to push through, is not an indication of weakness. It is a sign of wisdom. This is the right that you have earned to treat your body as if it were something sacred. By taking care of your health, you are not letting anyone down except yourself. You are an example to them of what it is to place value on life. There are times when the most compassionate thing you can do is to demonstrate the importance of self-care to those who are watching you. They learn how to take care of themselves when they witness you acting in a manner that is self-sufficient. The state of your health is the determining factor for everything else. Don't give it up for reasons of convenience. When you feel guilty, don't give it away. It goes to you to keep it. Keep it safe. Respect it. Your own personal boundaries come in at number 2. You will eventually reach a moment in your life where you will come to the realization that your time, your energy, and your presence are no longer things that can be lavishly distributed. These items are presents. As one reaches the age of 65, each hour becomes more valuable, and each minute of tranquility is something that should be guarded. To say no without feeling guilty is one of the most challenging tasks to learn. But it is also one of the most important. Every time someone asks you for a favor, whether it's a member of your family, a friend who goes too far with their advice, or someone who assumes you are always available, the pressure to accommodate might feel like it never ends. However, the reality is that your boundaries are not impolite, rather, they are essential. Whenever somebody needed something, Evelyn, who was 74 years old at the time, was the person they contacted. You could provide a ride to the store, a place to stay, or an ear to listen. Even while she took great pride in the part she played in the lives of others, she frequently neglected her own requirements in the process. It was not until she began to experience exhaustion, both emotionally and physically, that she started to comprehend the magnitude of the cost. She began by taking baby steps, such as turning off her phone while she was drinking her morning coffee, stating that she would not be able to make it today because she lacked the stamina to do so, and respectfully accepting invitations that did not bring her joy. Additionally, an unanticipated event took place. Rather of withdrawing from her, the individuals in her immediate vicinity started to respect her more. People had the impression that she was someone who loved profoundly but was also aware of her boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors with locks. They provide you the ability to decide who and what is let in. Plus, after you reach the age of 65, you have earned the right to be picky. It is not fair to provide your time to everyone who requests it. Your viewpoint is not required in every single interaction. You are not responsible for resolving every family emergency. You are able to care without giving rescue. One is able to listen without being absorbed. You may love without compromising your peace of mind if you learn to respect the boundaries that you set for yourself. Making a wish for the people you care about is one of the most empowered changes you can make. No, it is not about being chilly, rather, it is about being transparent. Your spirit, your health, and your vitality should be preserved so that you can focus on the things that are actually important to you. And when individuals push back, it is not your responsibility to make them feel better about themselves. Keeping your feet firmly planted in what is good for you is your responsibility. Since tranquility that has been won is far too priceless to throw away, I would appreciate it if you could use the second comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Now, let's proceed with our plans. As the third point, your mental tranquility. Peace possesses a very religious quality that cannot be overstated. Inner tranquility that is genuine and unruffled. When you have spent your entire life rushing, stressing, and devoting yourself to other people, maintaining your mental and emotional peace becomes not just necessary, it becomes crucial. It is incredible how quickly peace may be broken, despite the fact that it is maintained. It is like being trapped in a hurricane that you did not ask to be caught in when you allow the turmoil of others to become your own, which includes their sense of urgency, their drama, and their need to include you in activities that cause you to feel stressed or steal your attention. At the age of 65 and beyond, however, you are able to take a step back from the storm and opt for quiet instead. Since the beginning of his family, Roger 81 has served as the mediator. In the hopes of resolving every conflict between his siblings, he intervened in every quarrel, every stress, and every disagreement. On the other hand, as time went on, he became aware of how exhausted he felt afterward. It was not worth the emotional toll that it took. As a result, he took a subtle decision to remain available while avoiding becoming involved. At this point, Whenever he receives those phone calls, he listens attentively, but he does not immediately respond. He offers perspective, not solutions. He maintains his temper, and by doing so, he serves as an example for others to follow. You are not required to show up to each and every fight that you are asked to. It is not necessary for you to provide an explanation for your decisions to individuals who are bent on misinterpreting them. It is not necessary for you to take on the feelings, worries, or projections of other people simply because you are in close proximity to them. It is possible to protect your peace of mind by removing yourself from conversations, turning off the news, denying invites, or simply granting yourself permission to do nothing. Peace of mind is your home, your anchor, and your place of rest. There is power in the absence of movement. Clarity can be found in the absence of sound. In addition, when you make maintaining your peace a priority, everything else becomes much simpler to handle. You experience an improvement in your health, your ideas become more clear, and the depth of your connections increases. You are selecting what is worthy of your attention because you are not reacting to everything that is going on around you. Furthermore, the value of that option increases in proportion to the passage of time. You have worked hard throughout the years, and as a result, you have earned the right to allow your mind to relax, your heart to be free of burdens, and your life to feel soft. A peace like that is not an act of selfishness. It is a good idea. It has a lot of power. Most importantly, it is your responsibility to safeguard it. Regarding the fourth point, your financial stability. It's true that money can't buy happiness, but after the age of 65, it can definitely purchase freedom. You have the freedom to say no, to live a comfortable life, to receive the care you require, and to have pleasure in life. You have put in a lot of effort to develop, but for many people who are in their later years, there is an underlying obligation to provide monetarily, particularly to those who are dear to them. Possibly a child is having difficulty. Do you have a grandchild that requires assistance with college? It is possible that someone will indicate that you do not require it anyway. On the other hand, your savings, your pension, and your nest egg are not considered additional. Your defense, your security, and your future are all in their hands. Marilyn, who was 76 years old at the time, had always been kind to her children. Birthdays, holidays, and even rent payments in the event of an emergency. She never showed any reluctance. However, as time went on, she started using her retirement assets more frequently than she had previously. It dawned on her one day that she was beginning to be concerned about her own financial obligations, her own medical expenses, and her own requirements. The fear was fresh, and it had the impression of a cautionary note. So she took a seat, went over her financial situation, and made some adjustments. Her generosity did not come to an end entirely. Not only did she stop donating out of guilt, but she also started contributing within her means. This is the most crucial contribution. A community fund is not a communal fund. Your financial well-being is. There is no incentive that will be distributed according to who asks the most questions. It's the culmination of years, decades, and even centuries of laborious effort, sacrifices, and astute choices. And at this point, it is what enables you to get a good night's sleep, to pay for the things that are important to you, and to accept experiences that you would have previously put off. While it is admirable to give, is it acceptable to do so at the expense of one's own safety? It would be unwise to pay such a high fee. I am able to report that I am unable to assist you with that at this time. It is acceptable for me to declare that I need to make sure that I am in good health first. And it is perfectly acceptable to safeguard what you have constructed, even if it causes disappointment to another individual, mostly due to the fact that no one else is going to pay for your medication, your housing, or your emotional well-being. That is now your responsibility, and it is one that you should pursue with caution and self-assurance. I would appreciate it if you could use the fourth comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Now, let's proceed with our plans. Your dignity and respect for yourself come in at number 5. Age confers a certain kind of strength that is not immediately obvious. There is no need to be loud, powerful, or prove oneself. This is not the point. It is about being aware of who you are and remaining true to your identity no matter what. However, even after reaching the age of 65, it is simple to feel the pull of people-pleasing, particularly when you adore the people in your immediate environment. It is possible that you will find yourself agreeing only to avoid disagreement, remaining mute in order to maintain peace, or tolerating rudeness because it is not valuable enough to bother with. Your dignity, on the other hand, is always justified, and your self-respect is never something that can be bargained for. Thomas was a neighbor who made sarcastic comments about his age on a regular basis. Thomas was 84 years old. Have you continued to attempt to mow your grass, or do you not believe that it is time to slow down? In the first, it was just jokes, but as time went on, it began to destroy Thomas's feelings. Although he did not wish to be impolite, he also did not wish to be made to feel inferior. He just stated, "I take pride in what I do, and I would appreciate it if you didn't comment on it." The statement was made one day. Everything was different after that time, not because he prevailed in a debate, but rather because he defended himself. The neighbor retreated, and Thomas stood a little taller than before. Those who make fun of your decisions do not require you to provide an explanation for them. When you are independent, opinionated, or quiet, there is no need to apologize for these qualities. Not only that, but you absolutely do not have to put up with disrespect in the name of maintaining peace. Your life experiences, your ideals, and the boundaries you set for yourself are all worthy of being respected. You are not to blame if someone is unable to respect them. That is a reflection on the person. The more you get older, the more you come to understand that dignity is not dependent on one's status or reputation. The manner in which you handle yourself while no one is looking is quite important. It is about not allowing other people to define any aspect of your value. And it is about reminding yourself on a daily basis that you are sufficient in your current state. It is acceptable to take a step back if someone is trying to get you to compromise about respecting yourself. This is because respecting yourself sets the tone for how others treat you. Since you have worked hard, you have earned the right to be spoken to with kindness, to be treated fairly, and to be viewed with clear eyes. Do not ever allow somebody to take that away from you. Number 6. The liberty to choose how you want to conduct your life. At this point in your life, the decisions you make ought to feel like they are yours. They are not influenced by pressure. They are not founded on obligation. And they are not in any way governed by the expectations of another person. Following the age of 65, your days are yours to design. It is important to take into consideration your preferences, whether that means staying in bed late or getting up early, spending time with other people or embracing solitude, moving to a new location or remaining exactly where you are. Your wishes are quite reasonable, and the ability to make decisions about how you want to spend each day is one of the most significant possessions you own. She had always dreamed of living near the ocean, but Joanne, who is now 79 years old, chose to remain in the city for many years. She wanted to be close to her children, close to routines, and close to things that were familiar to her. In the midst of a conversation that left her feeling invisible, she proceeded to ask herself a question that she had not dared to ask in decades. This occurred on a particular day following a particularly lengthy winter. What is it that I desire? As a result of that inquiry, she decided to relocate to a tranquil beach town that was located 2 hours away. At this point in time, she chooses to spend her mornings strolling down the shore, reading in the sun and engaging in conversation with those who live nearby. The nicest thing is that her family continues to visit her, but now they come to her. on her terms, in her space, and in a life that she has chosen for herself. Providing an explanation for your preferences is not required. It is not necessary for you to get permission first. Whatever it is that you want to do, whether it be traveling, simplifying your environment, stopping attending activities that you no longer love, or trying something altogether new, you have the right to do it. After a sufficient number of years, you have become everything to everyone. At this point, it is your responsibility to be honest with me. It is important to keep in mind that loving someone does not imply living for them entirely. Even if they try to convince you to change your decisions or criticize the choices you have made. Without compromising your independence, it is possible to love completely. It is true that when you live your life in an honest manner, when you get up and do what you believe to be good for you, you become more present, more joyous, and more alive. Additionally, the most valuable present that you can give is your presence. You are not the subject of management here. It is not your purpose to be shaped here. If you want to live a life that is free, courageous, and genuine, you are here. It is not a luxury to have that independence. It is a birthright, and when it comes to claiming it, it is never too late. I would appreciate it if you could use the 6th comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Now, let's proceed with our plans. Lastly, some thoughts. As we come to the end of this video, I would want for you to pause for a moment by yourself and reflect on all that we have just discussed. Out of these 6 things, which one have you found yourself letting go of, possibly without even being aware of it taking place? Which ones are the ones that caused you to pause and realize, that is something that I need to protect better? In other words, these are not merely ideas, they are essential. Additionally, the sooner you start showing respect for them, the more self-sufficient, calm, and satisfied your life will become. There is a significant degree of independence that comes with getting older. That is, if you make a claim on it. Having this freedom enables you to say no without feeling guilty, to take a break without feeling the need to apologize, to give without exhausting yourself, and to live in accordance with your own reality rather than the expectations of another person. It is not possible for that kind of existence to suddenly occur. From day to day, from decision to choice, and from boundary to boundary, it is constructed. Being over the age of 65 is a wonderful thing since it means you no longer have to run after affirmation. You've already demonstrated your worth in a multitude of ways that no one can possibly quantify. At this point, your sole responsibility is to respect the life that you have constructed, to safeguard the things that are most important to you, and to live your life with the kind of knowledge that can only be acquired through the passage of time. You should always keep in mind that you are not living their life whenever somebody disputes the choices you make. You are living your reality. We appreciate you being here with us today. It would be wonderful if you could get in touch with us. In the comment section below, please share one thing that you have learned today and how you intend to put it to use in your life. Happy learning! We place a high value on your opinions, so please do not be reluctant to share them with us. Our inspiration and encouragement are greatly increased as a result of reading your remarks. I would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it to be informative and enjoyable. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. We appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we hope to see you in the future video.